Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Kevin, just doing a mic check. Just give me one quick moment. All right, looks like everything is good with sound. We'll get started here in just a quick moment. See if we can get some more people to join in here with the latest on Hurricane Zeta. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here with the latest. See if we can kind of get going here. Hello again. This is Kevin Gilmore with the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. We're going to go ahead and get started with the latest on Hurricane Zeta. If you joined us yesterday, it was a tropical storm, and as we expected, the storm has strengthened now into a hurricane as of earlier today. We are still monitoring the storm now, making its close approach now to the Yucatan here just shortly. Probably as early as tonight, we may actually see a landfall in Mexico, but we're still not really expecting to see much in the way of interaction with the storm, as the system's still expected to come into the southern Gulf on Tuesday, so tomorrow. We are still experiencing the potential for some impacts, maybe some major impacts across the area, but we're going to go through every single little detail one by one. There's a lot to talk about, and we know we're a few days ahead of the potential impacts with the system coming up, but we're going to talk about each one of those one by one. First, I want to kind of give you an idea and perspective where the storm is currently located right now. This is in the center of your screens, the Gulf of Mexico. You can see, maybe if I can do something, a little trick like that, you can see that this is actually New Orleans here on the northern Gulf Coast. In respect to the storm, Zeta is right there, coming just about to make landfall here later tonight, probably the next couple of hours. You see that the convection looks pretty well impressive, in a very good symmetrical outflow, strong thunderstorm development all are near the center of the storm, which is a good indication that the system is not really weakening, but it is at least maintaining its strength. We know we do have our hurricane reconnaissance aircraft in there right now. We'll talk about that here in just one quick moment about what they've been finding. But the storm will kind of keep going its way towards the northwest. It's picked up a lot of speed too. Remember here yesterday we were talking about the storm was basically just moving stationary and was just kind of sitting there just north of Honduras, and now it's kind of picking up its forward speed. The latest advisory that we got here is actually now moving towards the northwest at, I believe, 12 miles per hour. I didn't write that down, but towards the 12 miles per hour, which is, it's picking up its forward speed. So what we're feeling like, without getting too much in the meteorology about this, the ridge, which is advertised, that's been blocking the area with the dry air to the northwest of the storm, is going to kind of merge over to the northeast part of the storm. And then we see that, you got to have a real good eye here. But right here where my mouse is blinking here, that's actually a strong cold front going through Texas. So we got a strong upper level trough or upper level low out to the northwest. This ridge is pulling over to the east, and that's going to kind of create a little bit of a path for the storm to move north. So as the storm moves to the northwest, we'll eventually see a turn towards the north, and that's where it could impact parts of southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi here coming up in the next few days. So here's a closer look at what I was just talking about. Pretty good, as we call CDO, or central dense overcast, near the center of the storm, which is a good indication that the storm is not in the process of about to weaken. We'll see what it does with the land interaction with the Yucatan, but we're not quite sure what that might or might not do. You may see some temporary weakening with the land interaction, but generally speaking, once it comes back in the southern Gulf, which waters are warm, the shear is low, the storm should at least maintain its intensity. It may be dealing with some little bit of dry air coming in towards the west part of the storm, maybe some minor shear, but still, all in all, we're not expecting the storm to just completely fall apart or anything like that. So again, this is where we're kind of looking at right now. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and get started and just jump into the certain parts here. See, I also want to show you that we're watching some of the reconnaissance aircraft that are going through the storm right now. We noticed with the 7 o'clock intermediate update, the pressure is actually rising 2 millibars, but that happens. The airplanes have been finding, it went from 981 earlier today to 983 central pressure measured in millibars. So it hovers usually like that, maybe doing a little bit of a replacement cycle or something may be going on, or feeling the effects of land nearby. But again, doesn't have any major impacts in regards to the track and what we're expecting the storm to do. you see how close it is right there. It's going to be closing in very close here. And like I said, the probably next few hours, it'll be making landfall across the area. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into each specific threat. Like I said, we're going to talk about each specific one at a time. If you have questions, please ask them. We're here to answer those questions too, if you happen to have any here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is right here. First, this is actually, I don't want to show the track just yet. This is something I want people, I know we have a lot of friends and visitors in different offices that are watching this stream, who may be even watching the stream later tonight or even maybe tomorrow. We want to show you that for our office particularly here, we are the National Weather Service New Orleans office located in southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. You see that in green, that's our area that we serve. Those are those parishes and those counties in Mississippi. So we also have another office to our west. That's the National Weather Service Lake Charles office located in Lake Charles, Louisiana, which they've been having a real hard year over there dealing with many systems. To our north, National Weather Service Jackson, Mississippi, and to our east, National Weather Service Mobile. So if you live in any of these areas, be sure to follow them on Twitter and Facebook, where they're constantly posting updates, giving you the latest information in regards to your area. Even if you have family or friends that live in this area, it'd be a good idea to kind of just monitor and see what they're saying there. All these offices near us are very active on their social media platform and will provide you with the latest updates. So here's what I was just talking about, the latest 7 o'clock update on Hurricane Zeta. Maximum sustained winds of 80 miles per hour, and there's that movement I was just talking about, northwest at 12 miles per hour. We're going to see the storm continue up towards the northwest and through about early Wednesday, that turn more towards the north, and then maybe eventual northeast going towards coastal southeast Louisiana. That's going to be primarily late Wednesday and early Thursday. And we're going to keep talking about that a lot because that's going to be the time where we're going to be seeing the impacts. But we want preparations done. If you're anywhere in that cone or anywhere in these watches, which I'm about to show you the watches here in a second, if you're anywhere in these areas, you need to have preparations done before Wednesday. And I'm stressing that out a lot here because I don't want you to wait till the last second. The storm's actually going to be moving at a pretty fast speed. If people are really worried about heavy rain or the storm lingering around, it's actually going to be picking up in forward speed after around afternoon Wednesday. It'll be coming in. It'll go through here pretty quick. It'll be out of here probably as early Thursday, possibly in the early morning hours on Thursday. So this may be more of a Wednesday night type event, wherever changes may occur. We just want people to stay vigilant in case changes do occur here in the forecast coming up. Here's the tropical storm and hurricane watches that are in effect across the area. If your parish or county, if you're in Mississippi, is in this magenta color, that means you're under hurricane watch. And we'll explain what a hurricane watch means in a second, but that means these hurricane conditions could be possible in your area within the next 48 hours. Homa, you see your cities here. If you're near the cities and your parishes are around these areas, that's Homa, New Orleans, Boothville, Covington, Manville, Slidell, Gulfport, Hammond. All these areas are in this hurricane watch. That means I'm talking to you when I say that you should have preparations done before Wednesday. Surrounding that area is going to be a tropical storm watch that's further inland due to inland areas. Maybe some strong gusty winds. This storm eventually makes landfall. But again, mainly the areas we're going to really primarily be watching is the areas you see in that magenta color. That's that hurricane watch that's in effect. Impacts and safety, what we're talking about is we could see power outages. We can maybe even see some damage to trees, especially near and close to the coastlines, area of less friction, which means areas closer to areas of water, which there's a lot of water in this area. So that's why we're a little bit concerned about the high wind potential, even maybe creeping up into the New Orleans, Metro New Orleans, even through the North Shore as well. Be prepared. Basically, if you're in a hurricane watch, be prepared for possible power outages. Make sure you have batteries, your flashlight's ready to go. If you have a generator, that's ready to go. Things like that. Just make sure you kind of have things taken care of. Walk around your house, check to see if you need to tie down anything or bring in anything, because it could be blown around Wednesday night. So again, these are hurricane watches. These will eventually be upgraded to a warning. We're not sure yet when, but when we do, of course, we'll let you know. But this is the watches that we have in effect for right now. Here's the difference between a watch and a warning I was just talking about. That's hurricane conditions. The sustained winds of 74 miles per hour or higher are possible in the next 48 hours. And that's what we're talking about for the areas I was just mentioning before. Hurricane warning, that's when the storm's getting a little bit closer and the window's getting a little bit more tight. So now we're talking the next 36 hours, the expectation of hurricane conditions. So that's why as the storm gets closer, that warning may be required here eventually here, probably during the day at some part tomorrow. But again, we'll kind of fine tune and determine what we're going to be doing with that in collaboration with the National Hurricane Center. Storm surge watches, they are in effect as well. All the southeast coastal Louisiana, portions of Lake Pontchartrain, Maurepas, and Lake Bourne, and that includes all of coastal Mississippi, and even for our friends off east to the east across Mobile and the Florida Panhandle, you're under storm surge watch. There's the forecast inundation values you see right there. We're going to show a little bit of a better graphic here in just one quick moment. But we're talking about some of the highest inundation values potential is going to be generally from the open coast east of Port Fourchon to the Mississippi-Alabama border, and that does include Lake Bourne, and that does include all of coastal Mississippi. So Pascagoula, Biloxi, Gulfport, areas like that, we're talking around 4 to 6 feet inundation. Be aware that that could change too. That could go up, could go down. That really just depends on the eventual speed of the storm and where it makes landfall. But this is kind of a general area, and that's why we're under a watch for right now. I was just mentioning these are the values, put it more to a graphical representation while I was just talking about. Remember, storm surge goes all the way just north of Tampa Bay, Florida, just because of the large envelope of the circulation and that fetch from the south towards the north on the east side of the cyclonic rotation of the storm. So that means there's going to be a lot of strong winds piling up water all across. That includes Dauphin Island, going into Pensacola, Panama City Beach. Of course, there'll be lesser impacts over in that area. However, still 1 to 3 feet can be some minor impacts and minor inconveniences for the areas, especially for anyone living along the coastlines or can see every so often see some minor flooding from higher than normal tides. But for our area, you see with the storm's expected area of coming across, the center of the storm coming across our area, we see that storm surge will likely become an issue. And again, these are the values that we're seeing now, and be aware that these could change as we get closer. Storm surge can be deadly. That's a big message we would like to push across here. It can be devastating along coastal areas. Well, like we said before, people who usually see flooding due to higher than normal tides, you can pretty much guarantee that you may see some type of an impact with this. And areas that don't typically see flooding from higher than normal tides that are a little bit further inland, you could see some impacts from this. No evacuation orders are in effect right now, but should they become necessary, listen to local officials, follow that just in case evacuation orders are issued, and stay weather ready. I always say this tons of times. Stay vigilant. Things can change. Just be aware that this is something you need to pay attention to coming up here in the next few days. Heavy rainfall leading to flash flooding will be a potential across a large part of the area. We're talking a general rainfall total of around 2 to 6 inches. And for right now, you can see that a lot of heavy rainfall is co-located with the center of the storm and to the east. That's where we're going to be seeing some of the higher rainfall totals. 2 to 6 is a general range, but we could see locally higher than that amounts anywhere in this area. I'm going to say basically from, I would say, around Baton Rouge to I-55 on east. Baton Rouge, you're going to be a little bit more towards the west side of the storm, and even get to Lafayette, you're going to be a little bit towards the west side of the storm, which you won't really see much in the way of really large impacts, just maybe a few isolated showers and some breezy winds. But we're talking about New Orleans, Houma, Covington, going on towards coastal Mississippi. That's going to be more towards the bullseye of that. Now, where these heavy bands, these are going to be kind of south to north oriented bands that form basically perpendicular to where the center of the storm is located. So when that happens, you can get these south to north fetch bands set up, and they don't move much. And boy, they drop a lot of rainfall, a lot of tropical heavy rain. So that's where we're worried about where these bands may set up. We're talking about a lot higher totals than what you see right there. So again, keep that in the back of your mind. If you live in a flood-prone area, be aware. If you live near a river that rises really easily just due to just a little bit of rainfall, be aware of that as well. The target area that we're focusing again is primarily around I-55 onto the east. That includes coastal Mississippi. So any of that area that you see these brighter colors are the little bit more of the focus. So areas to the west, that includes Baton Rouge, going up towards New Roads and Lafayette, and even way further to the west, Alexandria and Lake Charles. Less in the way of heavy rain impacts for that area. Of course, simple steps for flash flood safety. Just always kind of remember these tips and tricks. Remember, if you live in a flood-prone area or you happen to be driving around late Wednesday, which I hope you're not, especially if you're anywhere in this watch area that's currently in effect, be aware that if we get these bands set up, torrential rainfall can fall and it can cover these roads very quickly and could lead to potentially a life-threatening situation. We don't want you to put your life in danger or those coming to rescue you's life in danger. So be smart with it. Make a good judgment if you should or shouldn't drive during the worst part of the storm. Best bet is just to wait, let the storm pass. Like we were just talking about, the storm's going to be going very fast through the area. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Also, We are actually under a marginal risk for severe weather, too, on Wednesday. Near the center to the east of the storm, we've been saying this many times with all these systems we've been having this year, is that that's where we like to look for the potential for a few isolated tornadoes. Generally to the northeast or east section of the storm where it makes landfall. So that's going to be, again, east of I-55. That's very close to Hammond, includes New Orleans, Slidell, Covington, Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula, Homa, and, well, not so much Homa, but Boothville. Cities like in those areas, we may need to watch for a quick spin-up tornado that could require a warning. The biggest thing here is to remember to make sure that you have a reliable way to receive warnings. And if a warning does become in effect for your area, know where to go. Lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. Just remember that quick, those three key terms there. That's the most important thing you remember. These will not be large, violent, long-track tornadoes that we see in the biggest severe weather outbreaks in the plains, or down here every so often in the spring or late fall months. These are going to be very fast-moving, weak, brief tornadoes that are very hard to warn for, very hard to see as they could be rain-wrapped. So just remember, if your phone goes off and you're if you're in the tornado polygon, lowest floor near the center, away from windows. Key takeaways we're just talking about: strong winds, storm surge, heavy rain, flash flooding, tornadoes, and even some marine hazards will be possible with this system as it approaches the area. Strong winds, that you see where the hurricane watch is in effect. This is going to be primarily late Wednesday to early Thursday, where we could have strong to potentially damaging winds. Storm surge values, I'm not going to read every single one of them off, but remember the key areas, or the main areas we're going to mostly focus on is going to be that 4 to 6 feet inundation potential from Port Fourchon across the Mississippi Delta into Lake Bourne and across coastal Mississippi. It could be higher than that. We're going to have to fine-tune that. We'll be in collaboration with the NHC about that. Heavy rain, flash flooding could be a problem and a concern, as well as isolated tornadoes and marine hazards across all the marine zones that we have across the area. So we're going to jump back real quick. That's pretty much it. Actually, I got one more quick thing here. So 1 hour hurricane prep activities. I showed this last night, and I like this one a lot because it just goes to show it really doesn't take much to just get a quick plan in place, put together a kit. Go just walk around your yard, make sure things are put up. Make sure that if you are in an area that usually loses power a lot, if you happen to have a generator, make sure it's ready to go. Make sure you have maybe some food in case some of the power outages may be a little bit longer, or if you're closer to the coast. And I've shown this one, I'm going to be completely honest, one too many times this season, more than I would like to. But this is a hurricane preparedness checklist that I like to show people because it covers a lot of things in here that even I never realized. This is something we're posting on our website and on Twitter and Facebook constantly. Just print it out. It's a great checklist to make sure you have everything I was just talking about that you can do in just under 1 hour. Just check some of these off, make sure that all these look good, and so you have a good and reliable kit. So moving back here, what we were just talking about. Now we have a lot of questions too. I let the good news for the end, although I should have started with the beginning. But I wanted to kind of show you this quick analysis here of the surface chart, and people have been asking a lot about Halloween and how does it look. Well, let's just actually see how does it look. Now we were talking about with the impacts coming across the area on Wednesday, going into Thursday. We see we're going to have a lot of heavy rain. But we're going to have a cold front that's going to kind of help push this out of here. And when it passes, this is the New Orleans forecast. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but I'm going to kind of put my mouse there on Friday. Look at that. High of 69 on Friday. Very cool. Lows possibly even getting a lot cooler than that. It's going to be maybe into the looks like we got some lows in the upper 50s for New Orleans. We may even have some areas in the upper 40s coming up here this weekend. So clear blue, just beautiful blue skies, ample sunshine, clear night. We may have a very nice Halloween coming up, very pleasant, well-deserved break from the tropics once the system can just get on out of here. So again, I know a lot of people have been talking about just what the forecast is looking like for Halloween, and this is my confirmation to you. Halloween's looking really nice coming up here. Let's just get this system out of here. We're really hoping, we want this system to get out of here. We're excited for this one to just get out and leave us alone, and then hopefully we'll be done for now, because we know this has been a very frustrating, aggravated hurricane season so far. And I know that we always say that hurricane season goes all the way through November 30th, and we're still not out of the woods. And please don't hate me for saying that, but it's just the truth. Hurricane season goes all the way through November 30th. So we may have to still watch. It just doesn't matter. We may have to still watch for a couple of systems, but let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's say that this is the last one. We'll get this cold front to run through here, and maybe we'll see a lot nicer weather coming up. So at least we'll end this on a little bit of a brighter note with some nicer weather around the corner. So we're going to end it there. We'll promise to do another Facebook Live tomorrow for sure. Maybe more than one. We'll be doing a lot more frequent updates as it comes. The system's getting a little bit closer, especially like I said on Tuesday and definitely on Wednesday when the storm's going to be making landfall across the area. So we're going to pretty much end it there. If you got questions, keep asking. We're answering them here right now live on our stream. And we'll promise to keep you updated with the latest information. The next update is going to be at 10 o'clock tonight from the National Hurricane Center. And again, we'll keep you posted on Facebook and Twitter and on our webpage. So we'll end it there, and we hope everyone has a great week.